Hi, I'm Monica, and this is the Make More Money series. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to turn down the volume of that critical voice in your head and how to turn up the volume of your inner cheerleader. And this is so important to be able to get through your day without beating yourself up. Now, here's the issue. If you're anything like me, and so many of my clients, you were raised by a highly critical parent or a highly critical grandmother or highly critical community that has a high standards. And because of that, you have got voices in your head that always tell you that you're wrong or that you're not good enough or that you haven't done enough. And even if you're a person who was not raised, right, in a community like that, you might have a very loud inner driver, right? A very loud, ambitious voice that is always telling you what to do and always making you feel like you're not enough. Now, if you're with me here, you know I'm talking to you. And I, my friends, am the queen of this. My critical voice is so loud that sometimes it's the only thing I can hear, even when I'm winning, even when I'm doing really well with my clients. Now, how do you manage this? The first thing to understand is that your critical voice often says the same thing over and over again, but that same thing is different for each of you. So the first step here is I want you to just bring some awareness to the voices in your head. So every time there are voices in your head that are saying things that are negative, I want you to start writing them down. So just keep a notebook by your desk. You don't have to do this forever. This is just like a 2-3 day experiment. I want you to write down the voices. So what are they specifically saying to you? So for example, some of the voices in my head say, you should have used your time better. You could have worked harder. If you were like so-and-so, you would have done more. If you're gonna be amazing, you have to work harder and you didn't work hard enough. What are your voices saying? This is really important because when you bring the voices to the light, they burn off. When you bring recognition to the voices, suddenly they become handleable, dealable, manageable. As you write these voices down, you're going to notice a few things. You're going to notice, oh, this voice came from my mom. This voice comes from my culture and pressure that people put on women or men in my culture. This one comes from something I heard in the church or something that I read. This one came from my basketball coach in 5th grade. That's step 2, is I want you to start to notice whose voice is this? Where did it come from? That's step 2. And step 3 is I want you to give those voices a human name, like Paul or Carrie or Matt or Sarah or Justin or Rakesh or anything that you want to name them. Why give them a human name? Because it has you start to get clear with the notion that these voices are simply a part of you. They are not you. They are not the truth. They are a part of you that are speaking in the moment. And so if you can start to identify with names the parts of you, they will become much more manageable. And then step 5 is once you've named these voices, and typically all of us have like hundreds of voices, but typically the ones that are annoying, the ones that are negative, we've got like 4 to 5 that come up repeatedly. And they change, in different aspects at different points in our life, but we've got 4 to 5 that are gonna have these human names that come up. And then step 5 here is that I want you to then have the awareness of knowing, when this voice comes up, I'm going to call that voice by name, and I'm going to start to talk to it. So for example, I have a voice, I used to do triathlons, and I had a voice named Harry, and Harry would appear every time I was about to start swimming, before the swimming part of the race. And Harry would come up, and he would say things like, you're going to die on the bike. I wasn't really afraid of the swimming or the running, but he would say things like, you're going to die on the bike. And after a while, I just got used to Harry being there. And I would be at the beginning of the race, with my swim cap on and all the people up against the wall. And Harry would appear and I would say, hello, Harry, right? I was wondering when you were going to show up. And I would address him and then I would thank him for protecting me, thank him for being there for me. And then I would ask him to leave. And that's the final step here is for you to have conversations with these parts of you, these critical voices in your head, and tell them that you don't need them right now. You don't have to push them away, like in a mean way. You don't have to condemn them, or because they're there for your protection. They're there to do good things for you. They were created when you needed them. But essentially, the most important thing about these voices is that you can say to them, you know, I'm doing great right now. Thank you so much for caring. I'm just going to turn the volume down on you for right now, and I'm going to pay attention to some other voices in my head. My cheerleader voices, the ones that are actually prodding me to move forward. Okay, so I think this is so important, these steps of dealing with these critical voices, especially now, because we're in this period of uncertainty, and because we're in this period, these voices are probably louder than they've been before. So take some time this week, identify what the voices are in your head, right? Start writing them down. Then look at where did they come from? Whose voice was it? Then start giving them human names, and finally start having conversations with them and ask them to be more quiet. Ask them to step away from the table. Let them know that you don't need them in a loving way, and you're going to notice that you start to be way more in control of those voices in your head and not so dictated and controlled by that critical part of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy, and let me know how this goes for you this week.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and leave me a comment with any ahas or questions that you have. Also, if you know anyone who would benefit from this video, please share it so that we can continue to change the money conversation on the planet together. And finally, please check out the video description, because there's a link there for a free resource that is going to take this learning even further. Thank you so much, and I so appreciate you.